Undertale's graphics look like they were made 30 years ago. Your main character looks absolutely awful. The game takes roughly 7 hours to beat, if that. Fighting consists of a simple timing puzzle. At first glance, Undertale is the complete opposite of what a AAA title is today, in every way possible. But you know what? It's probably the best game released in 2015 and an amazing, innovative title that pretty much anybody who loves RPGs or maybe video games in general should play. Everyone. This game is $10 on Steam as of right now, and that's an absolute steal because you'll get more out of this game than Call of Duty 69 or wherever the hell they're at now. Undertale has what I haven't seen in a long time. Heart, both literally and metaphorically. It's a labor of love to RPGs, anime, and just video game fans while still managing to be its own unique thing. Spend $10 on something you won't regret. Unlike that meatball marinara from Subway, you barely heated up the sauce, Gregory! Now, listen. This is a game where you just have to experience it, so going into the details would just be a disservice to those who haven't played it yet. So I'll do my best to keep this review short and spoiler-free. Undertale is an indie RPG developed game that's absolutely decimated its crowdfunding goal, and it came out in late 2015 for Steam. The game's known for being very similar in tone to the Earthbound games, which is what caught my attention. It's received insanely high review scores, a huge fan base, and I think for the most part it's pretty well deserved. The game was also exclusively made by basically one developer by the name of Toby Fox, who is absolutely incredible, you guys. This man is only 24 years old, and he made this entire game pretty much almost by himself, music and all. He also goes by the name Radiation, and if that sounds familiar, that's because I also reviewed another game he made, the Earthbound Halloween hack. I thought his writing skills were phenomenal back then, and I thought there were a few ideas of his that still really needed to be realized. But after seeing Undertale, I'd say this guy's reached his potential. Great work, man. Honestly, I don't think I've seen this many puns crammed in anything ever. Like, you should have called this game Pundertale. It's awesome. Let's briefly talk story. The game starts with an awesome introduction, guided by music that sounds somewhat familiar and nostalgic. It's particularly nostalgic to Mother fans, and this is why. Anywho, the game takes place in a world where humans fought a war against monsters, beat them, and exiled them below the earth. One day, a child decides to play too close to a hole and falls underground like a dumbass. The child then must navigate this weird, ruthless, and beautiful world below and figure out how to get home. The story of Undertale is very similar to Earthbound in that it's extremely simple until it gets kind of dark and complicated near the end. I won't say too much about the story, except that I love that it was a tale where you kind of had to piece everything together. The game never hands you anything, and it ends up being a pretty simplistic tale about morality, determination, friendship, loss, a lot of things. However, even though I just said it was simple, it's also really layered, because in light of the different endings, there's really a lot to talk about, but again, I'll try not to spoil. Briefly, the story is very strong, though not genuinely groundbreaking, but there are a lot of interesting and unique ideas, and it will tug at your emotions until the very end. Safe to say, you'll remember this game long after you finish playing it. The writing and the characters are pretty phenomenal here. The Earthbound Halloween hack had fantastic humor, and it's really on point in Undertale as well. From literally having your hand held through the tutorial, to participating on a life and death cooking show, Undertale never fails to have something amusing, interesting, wondrous, anything, something that just keeps you going around the corner. There are puns galore, an insane attention to detail, a lot of random jokes, a lot of satire on modern games, satire of anime, and it's a reflection of the insanity of our internet culture. I'm not going to sit here and say that I was laughing my ass off the whole time, because humor is obviously subjective, but if you like the dialogue in Earthbound, then you're going to like this game. However, unlike Earthbound, the game centers around really, really strong characters. Although your gender-neutral protagonist is silent, and also looks absolutely terrible. Did I say that? The characters that you interact with are anything but bland. Each major character has a single strong trait that defines them and their humor, but they each have more to them than you think. I'm not spoiling anything, so I'll just let you discover the rest for yourself. There are puzzles in the game, but nothing overly challenging. Some of them are too easy actually, but not in the way you may think. It plays like a very standard RPG, but it's the items, the weird environments, and everything else that makes this game unique. In terms of the battle system, again, the less I say, the better. You have the option to fight enemies in this game, but you also have the option to show them mercy. See, to spare your enemy, all you have to do is interact with them and solve a sort of puzzle where you have to please them, and this will allow you to spare them. It can be really difficult sometimes, especially because of the other major aspect of this game that is kind of like a bullet hell, but really more of just a dodge these weird things. It's all really creative, unique, and a lot of fun. I won't say too much about sparing, except that just play the game however you want to play it at least once, and then play with a walkthrough. I really don't want to say any more than that, just play the game how you want, but let's just say that this game certainly enjoys playing you back. In battle, you have to navigate through many challenging obstacles, and the game constantly throws fresh ideas and challenges at you, while still managing to stay humorous. A problem with a lot of RPGs is that the battle system doesn't really tie into the story too often. When it does, it's really cool. However, in this game, the story, the characters, and kind of the attacks they do all really tie into their personality and the struggle that's going on, and it was really, really well done, and I think that's part of the reason why this game really sticks with you. The whole battle system and game was kind of made with the mentality of the Super Mario RPG series, where there's a lot of jokes, you don't have to grind a lot, and it's just a lot of fun. I do have to say that the battle system is not unbearably difficult unless you don't get any practice or you have really terrible reflexes. Just know that this game has an old school mentality, so if you hate action RPGs or action in general, then this definitely isn't the game for you. I would also definitely suggest using a USB controller, especially if you have absolutely awful arrow keys like I do. The graphics in the game are really well done in my opinion. People complain about the black and white battle graphics, and I've even heard people call this game like a poor man's Earthbound, but honestly, I don't think that people should really make fun of these graphics. I mean, okay, they're not great, but they do the job they're supposed to do, and honestly, it's not really a big deal. And also, back to the black and white battle graphics thing, the game uses color in a very specific way, so I don't think that's really a valid issue. Just know that Undertale does what it sets out to do, create nostalgic environments that make you feel certain emotions. The game knows how to set a certain tone, it has its quiet moments, but it also knows when to go all out and crazy on you. I honestly wouldn't have the graphics any other way. The music in this game, holy shit, the music is absolutely ridiculously awesome. Like, I can barely believe it. And the craziest part is that Toby Fox did all this music by himself, and he is a self-taught musician. Guys, this was done by a self-taught musician. That's absolutely incredible. Seriously, I know that music is subjective, but if you don't find yourself humming at least a dozen songs from this soundtrack, then you must think country music is the greatest genre, and your opinion doesn't count. I usually get a few songs from a game when I finish it to put on my iPod. This time, I got over 55 of them. Just the instrumentation, the variety, the use of musical motifs, my god, the music in this game is phenomenal. I have and will continue to let it speak for itself. I actually ended up buying the soundtrack because, guys, you need to support talent like this, seriously. And I also bought this game because you need to support talent like Toby Fox. To conclude, guys, seriously, I did my best to cut down this review. I really did, and I could have put so much more. I waited weeks after I finished this game to review it so I can control how much I gush over it. But god damn it, there's a lot to talk about with Undertale. With all its secrets, awesome 16-bit era references, badass moments, scary moments, heartfelt moments, confusing moments. Man, this game has really a lot. It's not perfect, and I definitely don't think it's the best game of all time. I'm not even sure if I like Earthbound more or less than this one, but seriously guys, when's the last time we got a game like this? You may wish it was longer, you may wish the graphics were a little better. Yeah, the story's kind of wonky and not all the jokes connect, but really guys, all of this is forgiven. This game is friggin' awesome, and I'm actually willing to use the phrase instant classic here. I think it's a must play even if you don't like RPGs that much. In any case, insert stupid joke about determination here. Thanks for watching.